Using a grow tent as a reptile enclosure has really increased in popularity within our hobby, especially when we're talking about tegus. While I do believe these enclosures can make a great alternative to your standard wooden setup, there are definitely some things that you need to know before using a grow tent as a reptile enclosure. So I wanted to take today and make a video all about the things that you need to know before using a grow tent as a TEGU setup. With all that being said, I guess we should just roll the intro. And then kicking off this list, I think we just need to get it out of the way. Everyone talks down about grow tents because of this one thing, and of course that is going to be vision inside the enclosure. Now, while grow tents do offer a small window that you can view inside of the enclosure, it really isn't anything you can compare with a wooden viv. Of course, having those large, they pretty much get the 8x4 sheets of glass, put them in a sliding doors. It's really not compatible with the, well, I believe these are what, maybe a 10-inch by 10-inch viewing window. The visual for inside the enclosure when you're looking on the outside is pretty limited. Now, while most grow tents have some sort of viewing window for you able to see, it isn't a guarantee. You need to make sure that when you order your grow tent, they have listed in the details a visual window. I made this mistake. If you watch this video right here, I set this entire enclosure up for a monitor lizard, spent probably 20 minutes before I finally realized, oh, there's no viewing window. And at that point, it's just, if there is not a 10-inch by 10-inch window, that's not a reptile enclosure, that's a box. Moving on, let's get a little bit more into the important stuff that you need to know while using a grow tent. And that's going to be, it's not as simple as buying the grow tent, setting it up, and then throwing the TEGU in. Well, not throwing, don't throw your TEGU in, just play, I don't want to see people on Facebook groups going, boom! Yeah, DBCB Exotics told me to just toss them in there. Oh, that was dumb. All grow tents can make great alternatives for the regular setup. There are some modifications that you need to make sure you do. This is definitely a necessity. This isn't something like the opinion, oh, well, you can do this, well, you don't really have to, though. No, there are some modifications that you have to do before placing a TEGU in a grow tent. But going more into that, we need to first talk about what the grow tent looks like. So when you first get the grow tent, obviously these things aren't specifically made for keeping reptiles. Usually the grow tent is made for growing, well, certain plants, vegetables, if you will. The devil's lettuce. Now, with these tents being usable for growing some sort of plant, we won't name any specifics, these usually have whatever is an induction and exhaust system. So you're gonna have a lot of vent holes for getting your tubing set up with that exhaust fan and that inline fan. With that being said, these vents are pretty large in diameter, definitely large enough for a TEGU can escape out of. So even before setting in anything in the enclosure, you definitely wanna go through and zip tie all of those setups. I try to get mine as top as humanly possible for the vents, so there is literally no chance the TEGU can escape out of it. Some other things to look out for is just inspecting the grow tent overall. After you set it up, make sure there are no rips, tears, anything like that that a TEGU can use for its advantage to escape out of, because I swear to God, people, if there is the littlest thing where an animal of the magnitude of intelligence of TEGUs and monitor lizards, they will explore it, and my God, they'll get out from it. So, even hairline, I'm talking hairline scratch, tape that shit up. Then you'll be okay. All right, but moving on, let's get into the thing that literally I get asked more constantly about using reptiles and grow tents, and that's going to be how to hang the lights. Oh my God, people. You won't stop emailing me about how I set those lights up, so we're gonna get into it right now. All right, it's too hot in here to have my hair down, so we're tying it up. So, how to hang lights in a grow tent enclosure. Of course, unlike most of your glass terrarium enclosures, Exoterra, Zoom Out, or even the standard aquarium, they have a screen top, making it so you can just place the basking light on top and it's good to go. However, grow tents do not have that. This isn't a tent where it's like, oh hey, you know what? Yeah, this is growing for plants, but hang on, maybe some jackass out there will be like, oh my God, let's put a TEGU in this thing. So I really think we should just make one of the sides completely screen for that very reason. Nope, unfortunately, the consumer of VivoSun and iPower did not come to that conclusion. However, I am sending my emails every day, folks. Don't worry, we'll get that sponsorship. While grow tents don't have that top screen that you can just place the basking lights on, they do, however, have some brackets. Of course, with this, putting, plants in grow tents, you're gonna have some sort of light system, so they give you H brackets. That's usually what the letter is indicating on which bar. These are the brackets that hang on top and can have stuff hang off to them. But Dakota, I know that, but how do I just do I just tie it in a knot with the cord and call it good to go? Hang on there, viewer, don't do that. That is not safe. The best thing you can do for hanging pots. Sorry, I got grow tents on the mind, and the first thing I think about is pot. But like flower pots. Don't get your mind in the gutter there. We don't do that here. We just put reptiles in them and call it a day. Alright, the item you are going to be needing is, of course, the Caribbean hook, or Caribbean hook. I have no idea how to pronounce it, I've only just read it. With these hooks, you're able to just suspend any type of lighting system on there. I use Caribbean hooks for both my basking light and the T5 system that I have in there. Funny enough, my T5 system is actually just a standard iridescent grow light. It happens to use the same T5 as any of the UVB bars. So basically, I have a bunch of grow lights for just full spectrum lighting, and then I have one of them being one of the Arcadia 12% UVB bulbs. Just wanted to drop that in real quick, so that's probably the second thing I get asked most often is what is my T5 bulb? It's literally just a grow light that I got at any of your standard hydro shops. But anyway, Caribbean hooks. They're pretty cheap. You can find them on Amazon for, I don't know, how much is this? It's probably like $6 or $7. The only thing you probably need on top of that is the little metal O-rings. So I'll slide the O-ring across so you don't have to tie the hook in a knot in order to ground it. So then you just have that. Just hook it with the Caribbean, slide down, hook it in your basking light, and you are good to go. Now, the only thing that I would recommend if you haven't already is if you have one of those basking lights that have the little metal bracket that sticks out, while these work very great for hanging them, here's the thing. So we know with Tegus, my God, are they destructive when they get bored. And for some reason, this has happened to me personally, my Tegus has figured out how to unhinge the bracket from the basking light, which then led to the basking light hitting directly on the substrate. I swear to God, people, if I was not doing this full time, that could have gone very bad. Very bad indeed. Luckily I was home, I caught it right away, there was no harm. However, something that I do recommend, and very strongly recommend, so you don't have to face things that I did personally, is just zip tying that metal bracket together, making sure that there's no way it can pop out. So we're almost finished with everything you need to know. There's just one thing I want to talk about before we wrap this video up, and of course that is going to be adding a micro fan in order to increase the ventilation within that enclosure. Now, unlike popular belief from the grow tent haters, there's no way grow tents can hold heat and humidity, except for the fact that that's literally what they're designed to do. Grow plants that need, one, a high humidity and high basking temperatures. The plants don't need high basking temperatures. The lights get warm, it retains the heat. Anyway, make it clear, these grow tents are very good at holding heat and humidity, and sometimes they're a little too good. I have found, especially in the warmer months inside this building, where it gets anywhere from ambient between 80 to 86 degrees, inside of that grow tent, that's retaining that basking heat a little too much, where the air becomes very almost stagnant. As soon as you open the enclosure, it almost feels like there's an oven sometimes, and I don't think Tegus want to be living in an oven. So for that reason, just a great alternative you can use to help some ventilation there is just a cheap little computer fan, one that you usually get for any of your desktops. I believe I got mine on Amazon. Again, I'll put it right here. I believe they're like $10 for two of them, maybe 13. It's a very cheap little thing. It's just a small little micro fan. You hook it up to, well, unless it depends. So if you're using the grow tent on the side like I am, there is a top vent right there where I'll have B-roll of me showing where I put the fan. However, if you're standing it up, the vent's going to be on the bottom. You have to put the fan down there. I do know work that the sideways style, the horizontal style, works a little better when putting the fan, and at that point you are getting some nice ventilation where it's not feeling as stagnant. However, you're not losing that humidity as well because it's not too strong of an airflow. Well folks, there you have it. Everything you need to know before putting a TEGU in a grow tent setup. I believe I covered everything that is usually my most frequently asked questions. However, if I did miss one or two, put me down in the comment section. If I missed enough and there's just like a bunch of people like, Dakota, you barely covered, you didn't even scratch the surface with this, we need more information. Fuck it, I'll just make a second video. We'll make a part 2 to this if enough people give me questions. However, it concludes this part, so I guess I go with my little outro spiel now. So, If you like the video, please feel free to give us a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of my animals or my breeding products, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, DBCB Exotics. We're also on TikTok. Actually, I would really appreciate if you guys follow me on TikTok. I'm so close to 10,000 followers, and at that point I can monetize off of TikTok, which means more money to get more cool reptiles to show off on YouTube. You know, it's a given, I'm stuttering too much. I don't know what the word is, so I just tried stuttering to give me a couple more seconds. The thing is, if you follow me on TikTok, I think you're a cool dude. Or dudette. Cool peeps. If you're looking for another rad way to support me, I do have some cool t-shirt designs like these 3 right here. They're all pretty cool. They're right down there at teespring.com. Where in the description, we also have Patreon. Patreon.com/DBCBExotics, where you get premium content, such as seeing pictures of my animals and the animals I get before anyone else gets to see them. You get up-to-date updates on all my breeding projects. Of course, we do a lot here at DBCB Exotics, and you get first look at all of them. That means baby ball python pictures, baby gecko pictures, tons of reptile eggs. Also, with those baby animals, you get first dibs. There's even a tier where you can get discounts on some of those cool shirts we talked about earlier, and discounts on the animals I produce. Sounds all pretty good, right? There's a bunch of different more. There's a whole bunch more stuff. It's right down there. You'll get different tiers. Starts as low dollar. Well, it is. It's a low dollar because it's only $1 a month starting. So, yes, I think that is. It's a low dollar. Let's just roll the outro. You get to be in the outro too. It's happening right now.